Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished audience, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all of you in this closing session. I'm very pleased to be with you here in the last session of this conference to share a few thoughts about the conference and to praise the scientific work presented during the last 4 intensive days, including the student awards and the poster awards. This was also the first time when this conference was entirely virtual, and I hope that it fully met your expectations. Anyway, it was a great opportunity to have wider audience and a global outreach, and this was proven by the large audience we had from outside Europe. I acknowledge the effect, the many people effort to attend this conference at very early time or very late in the evening to be part of this conference. Anyway, after this short closing session, the conference will continue with several parallel events. So the conference will continue with parallel events this afternoon. So I invite you all to attend these important events. Now I would like to give the word to Heinz Ossenbrink that will take over from me and will say a few words in memoriam of Jean-François Dallemand.
So dear all, it is not with pleasure that I need to announce for those who haven't heard yet that our Jean-François Dallemand died too early in February. You know that Jean-François Dallemand was for years part of our technical program team and technical program chair at this very 20th European Biomass Conference, which you see on the screen. There's too much to say about him. And I leave you to read what my colleagues and people which knew him were telling about him. We miss you all. Goodbye.
Thank you, Heinz. This is a very sad moment for me. We will all remember Jean-François for the great man he was. Now I would like to go to the next point in this agenda. So I will present now the highlights of the conference. First of all, I would like to remind you that in recognition of the high scientific level of this conference and the importance for the whole biomass community, this edition was held under the high patronage of Mr. Emmanuel Macron, President of French Republic. It was the first time, and I think it's a great accomplishment. We can all be proud of this because this was a result of the effort of the whole biomass community along many, many years. Second, I would like to mention that In these hard conditions of coronavirus pandemic, we wanted to focus more on the bioeconomy role in the post-pandemic recovery, and this issue was discussed in detail in many sessions, and we wanted to underline the significant contribution of the biomass, bioenergy, and bioeconomy to the economic recovery. We know all how important biomass is. I think we need also to pass this important message outside the community and to make it publicly available. I would like also to share with you this very important information, the wide audience we had this week with more than 1,550 registered participants across the world. The first sessions are taken by European countries, but we also have to mention that many participants also participated from India, from China, from United States, from Brazil, and other countries as well. We saw also a record of participants in the Monday opening session throughout web streaming and from the platform. Then let's go and please allow me to share a few thoughts about the discussions we had about the role of bioeconomy in the economic recovery. First of all, I would like to emphasize that the European Green Deal was launched to drive transition toward the low carbon economy by 2050 and to support sustainable green transition. It contains a set of measures that range from cutting emissions to investing in research and innovation in order to preserve natural environment and biodiversity. Decarbonizing and economic recovery are not competing, but complementing each other. The policy needed to address global climate change is closely linked to the recovery program that aims to repair the economic and social damage caused by the coronavirus pandemic. We look forward to have a circular bioeconomy society in 2050 and bio-based industry joint undertaking shown this vision these days. And within this updated bioenergy strategy for sustainable and competitive bioeconomy plays a key role in developing the future circular sustainable bioeconomy. BBA support in particular investments in bio-based industries, demonstrating new technologies and setting up flagship plans. And significant targets, ambitious ones, relate to replacing up to 30% of petroleum-based products while reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 50%. Bioeconomy is also a great opportunity for rural communities and rural development. Bioeconomy is mentioned among the EU common specific objectives of the future common agricultural policy in the European Union, highlighting the potential to improve both the environment and the climate while providing new business opportunities for farmers and for rural areas. The future CAP includes the so-called ecosystems that awards farmers for enhancing environmental and climate performances based on local needs and conditions. Specific measures supporting renewable energy in the bioeconomy to provide the local bioenergy and local bio-based products are also addressed. It was underlined that multiple options are available and various scenarios are considered, all of them toward building a future circular bioeconomy. Biomass seems to be a very attractive mitigation option if sustainable biomass is available. Excluding biomass from mitigation strategies makes it impossible to limit temperature growth at maximum 1.5 degrees. All sectors can contribute to carbon neutrality goals, and within this, the agricultural biomass has a key role for bioenergy and bioeconomy in general. It was, however, emphasized that the holistic approach is needed to achieve all these goals. In particular, biomass resources, their availability and the sustainability of biomass are key for the economy. Several aspects were emphasized during the last days, such as the need to sustainable intensification of biomass production, optimal use of resources, close nutrient cycles, emphasize cascading effects, consider multiple products, and putting value of on all products. The local dimension was mentioned as very important since biomass is a local resource. It can provide a local solution, and we have to consider distributed production, small scale, in comparison with large scale refining. Important aspects related to the adaptation to climate change, acceptability of biomass and bioenergy in general, and sustainability are key aspects for biomass technology deployment. Related the role of biomass and bioenergy in the Green Deal, it was unanimously acknowledged that the European Green Deal and the EU Recovery Plan are great opportunities for bioenergies. Bioenergy policies play a critical role in support of short-term economic recovery. Pandemic had a dramatic impact of on oil demand and prices. Local pollution benefited a lot. The question is now if the lifestyle changed or this is only a temporary effect with a quick rebound. The EU Green Deal and the Recovery Plan present, however, a great opportunity to recognize the key role to sustainable bioenergy as an essential contributor to achieving the climate targets and to boost investment. Climate targets, in conclusion, cannot be reached without biomass and bioenergy. Bioenergy, it was underlined that has a critical role in energy transition to net zero carbon emission goals. And it was considered during the conference that the targets proposed by the Green Deal is absolutely necessary, although highly demanding. We saw a commitment toward decarbonization from all actors. Major companies announced that they want to become carbon neutral by 2050. And this is, I think, something we have to acknowledge. We have excellent industrial bases, although the scale up is very difficult. Bioenergy in particular plays an important role in sectors that are very hard to electrify, or there are no options for this. Bioenergy is also an opportunity for environment and climate, as being linked closely to environmental and socio-economic benefits in addition to job creation. Bioenergy is one of the strongest job creators. Despite all of these positive aspects, the role of biomass is not enough or is not high on the political agendas closely related to the negative image of biomass and bioenergy. Achieving full potential of bioenergy it's challenging, but there are several opportunities and various value chains are in development. In particular, renewable fuels, biofuels are key for decarbonizing of transport with immediate effect. Important developments we saw in aviation, sustainable aviation fuels and advanced biofuels. However, there is no silver bullet. All options need to be considered, including green electrification, not only electrification as it is. We discussed about the future role of bioenergy crop, and they should contribute significantly to the biomass availability, but we are still far from understanding the real potential of degraded, marginal, or unused or abandoned land. Bioenergy and carbon capture and storage is also not yet demonstrated, facing significant economic, environmental, social challenges. Greening gas, it's very important. It was also mentioned in the European Green Deal. It has a huge potential, up to 270 billion cubic meters of renewable gas, and is one of the easiest way to bring renewable energy to cities. How to move forward? It's a big question. There are possible ways that include innovative solutions for financing, providing support, but this should be in accordance with public acceptance. This can be done, and we hope to move into this direction to have ambitious targets, various mandates or obligations, green certificates, or investing to lower the capital, either by technology improvement or by use of existing assets, at least in the transition period. It was generally accepted that long-term policy stability is needed to increase investments. For this, both private and public investments are needed. Related to the first topic of this conference, sustainable resources for decarbonizing the economy, there were several main points that were addressed in the conference. First one would be the sustainable biomass potential. And achieving sustainable biomass potential requires planning at local level to compensate for the challenges induced by the climate change. High level modeling we saw show different factors like land use, changes to diet, and improvement in agricultural productivity that can alter the potential of biomass available for biomass and bioenergy. We saw that several decision tools were developed to accomplish local objectives, fitted in fulfilling system analysis for land use at global level as well. We saw also work done toward detailed analysis and mapping of residues availability in the EU for setting up sustainable biomass chains. Another issue addressed, it was the issue of biomass cultivation of marginal land. We saw some interesting presentations of on energy crops growing on marginal lands. Marginal lands are a feasible solution for intensifying biomass production, minimizing the effects of land use changes, and mitigating the competition with food crops for resources. However, research is still needed to identify sustainable resilient species to growing on limiting conditions. Significant accomplishments toward growing bioenergy crops in marginal lands were made while evaluating various social and environmental aspects. During these days, many examples of sustainable and integrated cropping systems were discussed. Another important issue addressed, not so much in this conference, but very, very important, is the issue of water needs for biomass. This is very important to match and balance the crop water needs and biomass production. And it was underlined that it is important to reduce climate warming, but also it is important to safeguard the limited water resources, especially in some areas which are exposed to water risks. Several work was devoted to the valorization of waste and wastewater that underline the fact that waste and wastewater management is still an issue in many parts of the world, but there are many interesting technologies available already for energy and material recovery. The second topic of this conference relates to the biomass technologies and conversion for energy. And several important issues addressed related to the modeling, testing and characterization in biomass combustion and gasification. Important work focused on the investigation of potassium release during biomass combustion that impacts particle emission, fouling and corrosion. We saw also some research that was used to better understand biomass conversion processes and the role of alkalis, either as catalyst for tar cracking in small scale gasification to identify possible improvements. We saw also some important work on the decomposition kinetics of glycine that followed a novel approach that can be applied to processing of microalgae. I noticed some progress on the high efficiency and low emission in biomass combustion. We saw some very promising and interesting development at a large scale coal-fired power plant that switched to biomass fuel. Another activities focused on the experimental and modeling tools that have been implemented to help the understanding of some operational crucial issues such as deposition, fouling, and flexible fuel combustion systems. We saw also some innovative approaches for biomass use in small-scale combustion systems, addressing novel feedstocks, combustion performance, flexibility to changing fuels, and so on. We saw also an interesting work on modular technology for biomass combustion optimization, a development step for optimizing combustion. Some work was devoted to gasification systems and syngas production, and in this we saw some important progress on the combination of bubbling fluidized bed gasification integrated with high temperature gas cleaning and solid oxide fuel cell, which is a potentially high efficient power generation option. We saw also an interesting proposition on coupling gasification with a second process to increase gas quality and conversion. An innovative approach focused on the use of solar heat, high temperature solar heat to drive biomass gasification. Also, other activities focused on flexible operation of fixed bed gasifier to meet the requirements of fluctuating electricity demand, which is an increasingly common need in the world where we want to have high renewables in the energy grids. We also saw some improvements in the biogas processes in biogas cleaning and methanation. We saw in this direction insights into the efficiency and the ways to improve control in anaerobic digestion plants and improvements for gas cleaning. This work focused also on the optimizing the slurry sludge digestion in wastewater treatment plants, which is a significant resource, not fully used in all areas. We saw also interesting work related to the biogas cleaning and small-scale treatment for the use of biogas in fuel cells, and also biogas production in decentralized local communities. We saw also investigations for biogas process improvement with using different substrates and higher loads, and XE2 biotrickling filter methanation. Related to topic 3, biomass technologies and conversion to intermediate bioenergy carriers and bioproducts, we saw some developments into four main directions. First of all, related to the new processes and bioproducts, we saw overviews of different bio-based products and production concepts. There is a wide scope for developing bio-based chemicals to replace conventional materials, pointing out also that limited LCA improvements if the whole range of factors are not taken into account. We saw also some insights into the biotechnology, try to identify optimal routes for chemicals and materials produced from various feedstocks. It is also important to mention a progress on the organosol process, which is attractive, and reported the new findings and optimization to increase yields for advanced bioethanol production. Related biorefinery concepts and assessments, biomass use was discussed in detail, including process evaluation and system evaluation. Various biorefinery technologies at different TRL levels are being developed for the use of different biomass feedstock, from low quality, low cost wet sludge to higher quality, higher cost seaweeds and lignocellulose biomass, to portfolio to bio-based products. The synergetic effect of different pathways combination, process optimization, and circular approaches prove to increase biomass conversion efficiency, minimize waste, and increase overall sustainability and feasibility. Novel pathways like seaweeds, improving cost effectiveness needs further research. New aspects in terms of feedstock, fuel application, and other aspects were found. I would like to mention here gas fermentation with use biosyn gas and methanol production, which is an interesting novel idea. Relating to the biomass pyrolysis process, we saw some impressive progress in thermocatalytic reforming that combines intermediate pyrolysis and catalytic reforming and hydrogenation of thermocatalytic reforming oil. Utilization of modern analytical equipment like pyrolysis, gas chromatography, mass spectrometry to get data and insights in feedstock modification for pyrolysis processes. Interesting also was the work for the upgrade of liquid pyrolysis products by fractional condensation and esterification for chemicals, materials, fuels, and energy. In the field of hydrothermal processing, we saw some impressive advances in hydrothermal processes into the field of continuous processing, or moving to continuous processing. That is now a challenge that we have to address. Remarkable advances were made also in the making hydrothermal liquefaction of a core platform for energy and chemical production. Progress has been made also in developing hydrothermal liquefaction systems through modeling that aim to improve heat integration and reduce cost of experimental trials. And these try to upgrade the biocrude by catalytically reducing carbon chains to different molecules while removing nitrogen. On the topic 4, sustainability impacts of policies, we had seen some developments toward 3 main directions. First of all, on biomass strategies toward the circular economy, we got an insight into the potential feasibility and challenges for different strategies for climate mitigation with energy, bioenergy and carbon capture. Bioeconomy and efficient use of biomass resources could be embedded in circular economy strategies with due account of carbon fluxes and social acceptance. Emphasis was put on the sustainability assessment and circular economy in different projects, regions, and feedstocks. Key highlights were addressing agriculture and forestry systems, social issues, as well as reducing food waste. Combining value chains analysis to provide guidance for the development of optimized biomass strategy and bioeconomy. And this revealed the feasibility of supply chains for BECCS must focus on biomass sustainability. Relating fostering sustainability, it was underlined that we need a holistic approach to sustainability assessment, including food security, which is an emerging issue that goes in parallel in the context of globalization of the bioeconomy. It was also underlined that sustainability, safety, and food security are costly, but sustainability schemes should be compulsory, and we need to put in place participatory governance to tackle various socio-economic impacts of bioeconomy. It was also mentioned that social standards are indispensable, and we need to apply them, as well as landscape governance. Relating to the environmental assessment, we saw some perspectives to extend the existing sustainability criteria for biofuels towards biorefineries and in line with renewable energy directive recast applications. The results for different biorefineries and for different feedstocks show different trade-offs between climate mitigation and other environmental impacts, which depends on each particular system and local context. With the variety of bioenergy options and applications in different regions and contexts, understanding the environmental impact, it's very important to maximize the benefits of bioenergy beyond the greenhouse gas emissions anyway. Regarding bioenergy integration, we had some important work done toward the integration of bioenergy in the system, in the energy system. We saw a very interesting analysis of the negative image of bioenergy in many ways that we can exploit this and to have a positive communication on the multiple impacts of and benefits of bioenergy. We saw also tremendous progress and capabilities of biomass modeling, as well as the combination of bioenergy with other renewables, such as power to X and power and biomass to X. We saw also some insights into markets and market uptake of advanced biofuels and renewable fuels from non-biological origin or for bio-based products. Regarding technological options and assessment for energy integration, we know that various applications can play an important role for energy integration, and ensuring that even negative emissions can play an important role. In fact, without these negative emission technologies, it's highly unlikely that we can reach our net zero carbon emission goals. Storage of energy, it's also a key issue for an effective biomass integration in the energy system. We had also some important activities that focus on alternative renewable fuels, with a section that covered both technology and policy aspects of renewable fuels. We saw also some updates on the novel and alternative fuels and the greenhouse gas accounting methodology that is expected to be released next year by the European Commission. Regarding the topic 6 industry sections, I grouped all the significant work we saw from industry into main topics. Related to strategies and initiatives, we saw that several biomass logistic concepts were developed at demo scale to valorize residues from traditional crops into biocommunities and intermediate bioproducts for energy and biomass use. We saw also an interest for the use of innovative raw materials, processes, and products such as microalgae, biomethanation, cellulosic ethanol, and bioplastics. And also, we learned about many tools that are applied both analytic and digital. Regarding the industry perspectives and the contribution to power, heat, or renewable fuels, we saw very interesting developments, and there are a few that I would like to mention now. First of all, it's a first fast pyrolysis bio-oil that demonstrated efficient combustion in a burner adapted for heat use. Important to notice is also the UPM approach to scale up sustainable biofuel production by considering both feedstock and technologies, and particularly the use of baked crops that complement existing agricultural practices. We saw also an impressive demonstration project that combines torrefaction, gasification, and Fischer-Tropsch that started operation. Last but not least, I would like to mention Ingelia that is linking to major industries, pulp and paper, by introduction hydrothermal carbonization in their processes. Again, I would like to mention again some messages that repeated, and in fact they were emphasized several times during these days. First of all is that the European Green Deal and the recovery plan represent a great opportunity to recognize the role of bioenergy as essential contributor to achieving the climate targets. Bioenergy has a great potential to play an important role for achieving the goals of the European Green Deal, while ensuring the economic recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic. Again, I mentioned this message at the beginning of my presentation, but it's very important, and it was also repeated several times, that we need long-term policy stability in order to boost investments. And for this, both private and public investments are needed. Thank you. This is, let's say, a brief overview of what was said in the 4 days of the conference. It's only a few messages that I collected during this conference, and I would like to thank you all presenters, and in particular to the session chairs for the support in collecting the relevant information for these highlights. With this, I would like to close my my presentation on the highlights. I would like again to underline that we have also several We have also several events in this afternoon, and EUBCE will continue with these parallel events. So I'd like to invite you to attend these events. And you can see here the name and the time for these events. I will warmly invite you to attend all these events. Thank you. It's now time to pass to the second main event of this closing session, which refers to the awards of the high-level scientific work we saw during these days. First of all, I would like to invite David Baxter to say a few words and to present the student awards. David, you have the floor.
Thank you, Nikolai. So we go to student awards. This is a great honor at this time of the year to be able to do this. And I'd like to thank again in the past the role of Jean-Francois Dalmont, who was mentioned earlier. This was really one of his main topics, one of his key, very interesting topics for this conference. Now we know that students are generally young people. We are therefore looking to the future when we are thinking about students. And what better time than now to be looking to the future? It is not only coming out of the current pandemic that is going to be very, very important and indeed very challenging. But more important is the addressing the climate change challenges that we desperately need to move towards. So there are very, very many challenges to be addressed. We this year have selected just 5 students for awards, and we will present them now. What we will do is, Nikolai and I have been involved in the process. I will present numbers 1, 3 and 5. Nikolai will do 2 and 4, so we'll switch backwards and forwards a little bit. At the end of each very short presentation, we will switch to the screen so that we can show the actual person who is sitting, waiting to be congratulated. So here we go. The first person is, so we have the 5 on the screen in front of you there, but we will go to the first person immediately. And that is Lauren Manandro, who is from the Brazilian Bioenergia Laboratory. So is in Brazil, based in Brazil, PhD student in bioenergy in University Campinas. The title of the presentation that she made is on guidelines for sugarcane straw removal, a decision-making tool for assessing the potential and availability of biomass. And this involved developing guidelines for sugarcane straw removal in Brazil to supplying the feedstock for bioenergy with low greenhouse gas emissions, soil conversion and sugarcane yield longevity, offering recommendations for the best use of sugarcane straw to take advantage of the agronomic and industrial benefits using a new decision-making tool. I'd like to congratulate Lauren, and when I bring up the slide, I think I hand to the organizer there, to the moderator, to bring in the picture of Lauren, please.
Thank you, dear David. Thank you, everyone, for EUBCE for this great honor. It's a pleasure to be one hour in this amazing conference. And I just want to share this with all my colleagues from Brazil for this big work you have done here. Thank you so much for committing to everyone.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Lauren. Obviously, there's applause from lots of people, but you cannot hear it. But thank you. I hand over to Nikolai for the second presentation.
Thank you, David, and congratulations to Lauren for his excellent work. Now let's go to the student awardee for the topic number 2, Hussam Boujia, who is a PhD student at the French Commission for the Atomic and Alternative Energies, CEA, working on the development and optimization of solar gasifier. Hussam received this student award for his excellent work for the experimentation, simulation, and scale-up study for a solar hybrid reactor for continuous biomass steam gasification. This is a work of paramount importance related to integration of biomass and other renewables. The work focused on the combining concentrated solar energy and biomass gasification that allows very high conversion efficiency to be reached while offering efficient means of storing intermittent solar energy into renewable solar fuels. So congratulations again for this excellent work. Let's go to the next slide with this diploma of student award. Congratulations again, and look forward for your future excellent career in research in this area. A few words from you.
Cannot hear you.
Sorry, I'm very happy to be here this year to present my work in my laboratory and to the greatest audience in bioenergy and advocates of biomass. And I learned a lot, and this was really rewarding thanks to outstanding people and outstanding presentations. And I hope I see you very soon in the next EUBCE. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, David, you take care of the next winner of the student awards for topic 3.
I will indeed. So we move to the third one. The third one is Carolina Del Mar Saavedra Rios, who is originally, I think, from Colombia, correct me if I'm wrong, but now working in France and is a student at CEA. The presentation she gave was on biochar-derived carbonaceous materials as electrodes of the next generation sodium-ion batteries. And this was elucidating the impact of biomass composition in the electrode performance. 3 more details: the added value carbonaceous materials to be used as negative electrodes in the emerging technologies of sodium-ion batteries, hard carbon that can be produced from biochar. Developed mathematical regressions to estimate the performance of the hard carbon from the chemical composition of the feedstock. I believe that this is work that is is fairly well advanced. Congratulations for making a very nice presentation to us, and I now give a little bit of an opportunity now for you to respond, Carolina.
Thank you very much. It is really a great pleasure to receive this award, and also I would like to use this opportunity to thank all the people that helped me in my PhD time in my work. So thank you very much. This is not possible without all these people. And yes, well, I hope I can continue working towards the valorization of biomass in high added value products.
Thank you, Carolina. Congratulations again. And back to Nikolai.
Thank you, David. Let's go now to topic 4, for which Paul Stegman was declared the winner of the student award. He is a PhD candidate at Utrecht University in the Netherlands, and he is working to make the link between the bioeconomy and circular economy, and into the role of bio-based chemicals and materials, and how cascading and recycling could improve the environmental performances. Paul received these awards in recognition of his excellent work related to the integrated assessment of the role of the circular bioeconomy in climate change mitigation, the case of plastics. I think this is very important because, as I mentioned, and it was mentioned many times during the conference, that all sectors might contribute to the decarbonization and of the economy, and the use of plastics can definitely play a role into the this goal. Let's go to the next slide to see the diploma that recognizes the contribution of Paul to this work. And I would like to invite Paul to say a few words to the audience.
Thank you very much for the award. It's always a pleasure to present at the conference of EUBCE. And of course, I would also like to take the opportunity to thank my colleagues and supervisors, Vasilis Staiolu, Mark Londo, and Martin Junginger that supported me in this project. So thanks again to you and my supervisors, and enjoy the end of the conference.
Thank you, Paul. It's good. I'm very pleased that you received this award, and I congratulate you again for the excellent work, and I wish you good luck in your future career. Now let's go back to David for the last award of this conference.
Also, my congratulations, Paul. We move to the fifth award, and this is to Alessandro Paluzzi. He's from Politecnico di Milano in Italy, working in the power production research activity, flexible biomass and power to X plant. So X could be one of many things, of course. Alessandro gave a presentation on techno-economic analysis of flexible power and biomass to methanol plants through analysing the process control and optimal design criteria of a power and biomass to methanol plant. As we know, the power to X is becoming very, very important in the way in the need to balance grids, to balance flows of energy, to balance flow of energy carriers, and so on. This is work that will definitely go very, very well into the future. And I now invite Alessandro just to say a few words, but congratulations in any case.
Thank you so much. It is a great pleasure to receive this award, and it was really very interesting to participate to the EUBCE. I would like to thank all my colleagues, and in particular my supervisors, Matteo Romano and Giulio Guandalini. Thank you again.
Congratulations, Alessandro. And all I can say is congratulations to everybody. But not only to these five, because there are many students involved in this conference. And how do we separate between winners and not winners? It's extremely, extremely difficult. We say thank you to everybody, and we really look forward to you appearing again, not just next year, but in future years. But we also wish you very good luck and good health in the months and years to come as we move forward with this, the big challenges in front of us. Thank you very much, and I hand back to you, Nikolai.
Thank you, and again, congratulations to the winners. They are excellent scientists, and I look forward to hear about their future career in short time in the next years. With this one, we conclude this part of the day related to the student awards, and I would like now to invite Professor Dimitrios Sidiras from University of Piraeus for giving the poster awards. Dimitrios, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm going to share my screen. So the poster is a very interesting way to show your work, and also this conference gives the opportunity to make a speech in front of your poster. The first award is to Beike Sanfeld for the work low ILUC risk indicators for certification in the EU bioeconomy. He's working at Bioenergy Systems in Germany. The second award is for Oluchi Emenike in University of Sheffield Mechanical Engineering Department in UK, and the work is initial techno-economic screening of BECCs technologies in power generation for a range of biomass feedstock. The third award is to Marton Veres at the Institute of Chemical, Environmental and Bioscience Engineering in Vienna, Austria, for the project development and techno-economic evaluation of an optimized concept for industrial bio-SNG production from sewage sludge. The fourth award is to Patrick Rimmerman in BTG Biomass Technology Group at Netherlands for the work mapping bioenergy retrofitting in European industry biofit first results. The fifth award is to Markus Goles, Best Bioenergy and Sustainable Technologies in Austria, for the project long-term validation of a new modular approach for COI optimization. The sixth poster award is for Sanet Marks in Northwest University, South Africa, for the work upgrading of the aqueous product stream from hydrothermal liquefaction using hydrochar produced from spent coffee grounds. The seventh poster award is to Caroline Cariel-Smith in Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, Germany, for the project sequential hydrotreatment of beechwood fast pyrolysis bio-oil with nickel catalysts. The eighth award is to Erika Vadzi, Budapest University of Technology and Economics in Hungary, for the project optimization of extraction of bioactives from different wastes and byproducts of agro and food industry. The ninth award is to El Said Musa, Surim AB in Sweden, for the project developing and the assessment of biochar for efficient utilization of metallurgical application. The 10th award is to Clemens Holstein, Best Research Optimization and Control in Austria, for the work evaluation of the transient behavior of a fixed bed biomass gasifier for demand-oriented electricity production. The 11th Oster Award is for Scott Tern, University of Hawaii, Hawaii Natural Energy Institute in USA. The project is feedstocks for sustainable jet fuel production and assessment of land suitability in Hawaii. The 12th award is to Giulia Lotti, Record the Renewable Energy Consortium for Research and Demonstration in Italy, for the project Organic Rich Slow Pyrolysis Aqueous Streams, addition in water daily reintegration of an anaerobic digestion mesophilic reactor, a lab scale test. The 13th Oster Award is to Sebastian Sages Villasclaras, University of Zan, Chemical Engineering in Spain, for the project use of olive meal wastewaters and urban wastewater as a nutrient medium for CO2 biofixation for biomass production of microalgae. And the last Oster Award is for Maurice von Kosel, University of Hockenheim, Germany, for the project Biomass from pre-raining wild plant mixtures, lessons from 10 years of research and practice. These are the Oster Awards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dimitrios, for the excellent work you did together with the whole committee for the selection of Oster Awards. I know it was not easy. I saw so much excellent work in the Oster sessions, and I would like to congratulate myself, all the winners of the Oster Awards for the awards they received, and of course this is only a recognition of their excellent work. Now let's go to the next point in our agenda, and I would like to ask Heinz Ossenbrink from the European Commission to share a little bit of his experience on the virtual experience of the European Biomass Conference. So Heinz, please tell us what was your experience both behind the scene and also maybe from the audience. How was the first virtual conference seen?
Okay, thank you. I hope you can see my screen. The screen sharing, I will say later something about it. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to give some very personal impressions of this virtual experience. As you might imagine, it was for all of us a new, a total new exciting experience, which we didn't know exactly how it will end up. So let's start with the major thing. This year you couldn't go to the conference, but instead we came to you. So that's really new. So we came in your office, in your holidays, in your home, in your garden, and just visiting you, and we're bringing the conference to you. So instead of coming to us, we were coming to you. It's a major difference. But what we missed a lot, we missed you as much as you missed probably you to meet your colleagues, your friends, and new contacts. We missed most of all also the applause after each session. We missed the coffee breaks, the hugs and handshakes. But to compensate, we tried hard to give new opportunities for interaction. So that was majorly, I hope you made use of them all, the question and answers for each single presentations, or even with answering after the presentations, the chat and the chat rooms, the availability to meet colleagues, to make appointments there and to make ad hoc meetings, which was very well used. The delegates bag, I hope everybody found it and found the information inside or the information you can put inside. And then also the virtual exhibition is also a kind of new thing, which we didn't know how it will work out. But most of all, it's Ernesto. At this point, I have to mention him. This is our nerd guru and good soul after everything which has to do with computers, informatics, worldwide networks, audio problems, and so on. So you see, Ernesto is always a toolbox in front of him. I see even scissors and cuts to cut people off. He is the good soul behind it. And without him, it probably wouldn't have the same experience. Now, the audience, actually, this was as much as it got for us, 3. So that's all what we see from the audience, and you see we were listening quite well. But in reality, we knew that there would be something like more than 4,000 counted in 64 sessions by Wednesday evening. So we have not yet analyzed the Thursday. The live opening was followed by 1,538 people. So the reach which you can do in such a virtual conference was big, and probably even bigger than in a real conference. And that means a little bit that, for example, we had registered participants from 87 countries, which is a new record. So we were always around 70. So even after the short notice that the European Biomass Conference will go online, a lot of new people, and I think the voice will spread around. In particular, we are looking forward to happen when we announce the possibility, which we hope we can realize for virtual presentation participation already with the call for papers. You can imagine that we can we expect input from all parts of the world, whether it's Himalaya, Terra di Fuoco, or South Africa. And so that is really a very new participatory feeling for all, that by this way we have a possibility that the Biomass Conference goes global. Now, we got some feedback. I show already now the we made a special email address for your feedback. We really need this feedback. We got some during the conference, all very positive. I cannot really complain about 8 a.m. was one of the positive things, that you can look at them also in the late afternoon. Somebody even loves the conference. And more feedback we need, really also in particular suggestions. We want always to improve. As I said, it was for us the first experience on it, and you just don't know it, what will be the problems or how it would be seen. In my personal view, the poster sessions is a real good thing, and I think the poster awardees, which we just have seen before, they saw it also. You can get in direct contact basically throughout the week, but also in your own poster session with people which are interested in. You can exchange ideas. You can look at the poster many times. So the virtual poster hall is a very good add-on to this conference. But also the exhibitors were very happy. We had a lot of exhibition stands. I hope you had time to look into them. maybe even to make an appointment with the stand owner, or to download brochures, or to get routed to the website of the exhibitor, to look at their videos and their company presentation. That was a nice flair of this conference. So you see, we are tracking certainly also the visitors. On this, you see basically the visitors versus time. So in the evening after, this one single day only, in the evening after the session, but also in session breaks, we had in the evening more than 2,000 visitors in the exhibition hall. And so that's quite interesting to see that we also want to enhance in future quite a bit. Now, interesting, we are certainly all the presenters, and the presenters were the major core of this conference. Now, on this one, I just want to highlight the backgrounds. So we're thinking of making a new award, best presentation background. So most of them, because they are scientists, like to have a library environment. You see them on the top row, gives you a very scientific profile, and some of them are fake, some of them are real. And regarding other backgrounds, we had one, unfortunately, it was a typical midnight one, bottom left. So that's somebody who joined us from the United States at midnight and looks very, very shiny somehow. We had also a pre-recorded background. This was made by the only 16-year-old Rocco Grassi. And you see in the bottom middle that ladies did like this because it gives them, or the way they were dressing, and particular flair. You see Angela Grassi likes it as well. But I think the top was what you see on the bottom right. Somebody really crafted even a virtual podium. And that brought me to the idea we should make this kind of awards. Who makes the best background and the best virtual podium? So he really spent a lot of time, I think, on that, and it was a surprise for us all. Now, the session chairs certainly had a hard time because this is now the first time. Certainly it was easier to say after 12 minutes, you have another 20 seconds for the conclusion slide because you don't really interact with the person. But as you see here, the major and #1 problem was find the right button for screen sharing. And only today I found out that this is actually in all different languages, depending where the presenter is coming from. Because we always say, just press the bottom share screen button. And people were just looking, they couldn't find a share screen because I think this is the Italian version, which says condivido schermo. I imagine this in Greek or in Japanese. And so if this is not enough, this software is also laid out like this, that normally this bottom disappears. So unless you move the mouse pointer, you are lost. You don't know how to share screen. But I think we will continuously improve. Sometimes it was very funny and great. And I think we took it all also quite relaxed, and we had enough time for it. Now, nobody of the presenters was ever left really alone. And this you certainly couldn't see, because there is a big team here of people which were intervening, which were helping. They were with voices in the off. Sometimes they were even calling directly on the phone, which you see there to tell them, listen, you forgot to unmute your microphone, which was number 2 problem. Happens to me still today. But they were helping, they were following, they were seeing that the quality is okay. And said also, can you please get the dog out of your room? Because the dog is barking or whatever, all kinds of direct feedback to the people. So you never were really alone. And I think it's very, very important when you are basically sitting alone at home, but there's somebody looking at you and following. That's very important. Okay, at the end, it comes to, this is the team which realized everything. You see, we are in Corona times here, are being very careful. It's not such a big team. It's 16 plus me, plus the photographer. And I need to say, I'm really proud to be a member of this team for a week. And it was just a great experience. People are very nice, and it's a perfect atmosphere. The gender balance is clearly leaned towards women here, and they did a great, great, great job here. Everybody, and I think without them, the whole virtual conference wouldn't have happened. The enthusiasm, the dedication, compliments to all of you. So at the end, as a kind of farewell, it's Angela. Angela is the soul, and she's the heart, and she's the driver of the whole European Biomass Conference. I admire her for the enthusiasm. She picked up the first idea when we said, I don't think that we can go to Marseille. And that was very earlier this year, and we were quite in panic. But she took the challenge. challenge. She made it happen, and thanks to your, we are all big fans of you, Angela. So we to say, don't forget the feedback at the bottom. The conference will continue this afternoon, but also into the September. You can review all the presentation or take them which you missed. After September, it will be said, there's not much on biomass currently then happening. We try hard, but our last speaker has some good news for you. So with this, I say goodbye, and now listen what Guillaume has for us.
Thank you, Heinz, a lot for this presentation. It's really impressive. I think your presentation made us to reflect a lot about what happened in only 4 days of a very condensed conference. I think we remember a lot about this very first virtual conference, and from my perspective, everything went fine, and I hope that everybody else thinks the same, despite of some, let's say, small issues about low internet connection and the issues with finding one or another button and so on. And now I would like also to invite Guillaume Boisonnet to share a few thoughts with us. He was always with us. In the last year, he was representing the French committee. He was hoping that this year the conference will go to Marseille. It was not possible, but he kept working with us, and now hopefully we are looking to go to Marseille next year in April. So Guillaume, you have the floor. Please share some thoughts with the whole audience.
Okay, thank you, Nikolai. Thank you, everybody. I will share my screen. That's it. Here we go. Is it okay for everybody? Yes. Well, to everybody, it's very an honor to have been chosen to this final word. And it was really, really a pleasure to be part of this conference this year and the past year. As you can see, we were very lucky that Emmanuel Macron, President of the French Republic, supported the conference this year. As you may know, it was already said, the conference should have taken place in France this year. And now it's the time to say merci et au revoir, and also à bientôt, farewell. But before, just some word about this new virtual experience and the future. Actually, COVID period was quite a hard time experience, but I must say that we learned a lot, and I appreciated that nobody in the Exco and in ETF France abandoned. It was very a pleasure to work with you. And I think that everybody succeeded in catching the opportunity. As some say, when opportunity knocks the door, don't sit there complaining about the noise. I think it was very the mind of this conference. And everybody worked hard to be able to organize this new type of conference. And I want to congratulate them to succeed, and never forget, because it was always difficult, that perfection is not real and reality is not perfect. But everybody did really its best, and it was awesome. And I think these 4 days were very friendly, even without being physically with each other, but I think it was very good. From this conference, I will keep in mind what I can call the Heinz-Osenbrick laws dealing with the technology. Don't worry, be relaxed, be cool, be focused, and no problem if anything occurs. He already talked about that, but you will be helped anyway. Okay, so as you know, the past is this. The conference was initially forecasted to be in Marseille in April, but finally a microscopic virus was stronger than us. And thank you again, Angela, Nikolai, David, Kyriakos, all the people to be strong and to stay focused on the objective. Well, the present was this. We had this kind of exchanges, and it was very friendly, but far from another. And I think, and I hope the future will be different, but some things will remain. And I hope that the future will be in 2021, the next conference in Marseille. And I'm sure it will be a great experience. In fact, Angela told me that France was chosen to reinforce the links between France and the conference. And I think even this year, French people will participate much more than in the previous conferences. So I think next year it will be better. In fact, because of this period, we are already at work. So you can say here the French organizing committee and supports based on universities, research centers, industrial representatives, and institutions from France. And we already met, in fact, and we are on the way to next year. Well, at last, I just can say bienvenue à Marseille in 2021, and I hope the next year will be good for everybody. Enjoy your research and enjoy life, and don't forget that my last word. Don't forget that 2020 EUBCE is not finished yet. You have some parallel events in the afternoon. So thank you for everything. Thank you all, and see you next year in Marseille.
Thank you, Guillaume. We all look forward for meeting each other in Marseille next year. I would like to thank you again, and to the strong support from the French committee to this conference. It was very much appreciated, and we couldn't do so much without your support. So thank you again. Of course, I would like to thank to the scientific committee that had a very much appreciated strong contribution to the program which we organized for this conference. Thank you all for participating at this difference, and for your effort to stay awake very early in the morning and very night in the night. Thank you all for your contribution to this conference. You still have access to all the presentations online. You can go back and look at them again and reflect at what was said during these days. And see you next year. Stay safe, and see you next year. Goodbye.